Biggest hacks I have when it comes to owning your marketing is using AI as a tool. I don't believe it being like the start to finish and no editing at all. I use it as a way to shortcut my market research, and then number two, understanding the perception versus perspective. So what my perspective is on my business and my offers and the way that I'm trying to serve people versus the perception of my ideal client and the exact consumer. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you the behind the scenes of exactly how I start to finish, create a bunch of copy that feels and resonates like me and actually sounds like a normal person, and then also how I edit it in a Google document so that it is real and you can feel that emotion and energy, because that is so important. I don't believe in just using ChatGPT and just copy pasting it over and not revising. I think it can be an incredible tool to shortcut research and actually understand your ideal client on such a deeper level. There's a correct way to use ChatGPT and AI overall, and I actually want to take you through the exact process. I run a marketing agency. I love doing this with clients. It helps them shortcut so much time and get so much further, but it's about understanding how to use it in a way that is authentic and full of integrity. So I'm going to show you. All right, everyone. So I'm going to be showing you guys today how I get 50 emails, 50 captions, and 50 stories. And this is my signature quantity quality method. So I have Amber's content here. So by the way, if you see broad content, I work for a broad company. So just a little disclaimer there if you see that in the background. Anyways, this is all Amber's content that she had sent over for reference. And I just put it all into this Google Doc here, and I actually have it popped up in here for ChatGPT. If you are working, number one, if you're a copywriter doing this for other individuals, what I highly recommend is that you actually just go through your client's content and put it into a Google Doc. I don't care if they're talking about grandpa's birthday, going to the splash park with their kids, like literally whatever it is, put it into a Google Doc. And then what you're going to ask is, what is this brand voice? All right. Apparently I can't type today. Every time do a Google Doc, and I'm just going to do step one. Oops. And so it's going to give me this blurb, which is going to be really helpful for her. And I'm going to say, okay, this is great. What I have here is Amber wants me to help get her content that attracts and nurtures. It's focused on their wants versus their needs, because backstory, she's been a client for a long time. I think one of the biggest triggers for her is the other coaches and other individuals in the industry who sell people what they want to give them what they need, when it's like, but they want what they want, right? So she wants to be able to give people what they want. She wants to be more symptoms and sign based, like the physical ailments that people are experiencing. But where she wants to focus on is how to align your business with your cycle. So I'm going to say, thank you. Pause this. I have a question. I'm going to hit send so that it like goes onto a new note. And I'm going to say, can you write me 15 key points on how to, actually, I'm going to say 25, how to use your cycle for your business success. Think tasks that can be done during the 4 phases, breaking it down into what feels most aligned. Example, no, I'm not going to give an example. I want to see what it says. So I ask a specific question about the type of content I'm wanting. So this is perfect. It broke things down into menstrual cycle, follicle. Ooh, this is so good. So I'm going to teach you guys, this is really good content. So this is what I'm going to be using for content, just as a side note. And I'm probably going to ask ChatGPT to create 5 on menstrual, 5 on follicle, 5 on ovulatory, and then 5 on the luteal phase. But what I'm going to do is say, this is excellent. Excellent. Can you turn this into a table I can copy and paste into Excel sheets? So what I'm doing is I'm actually creating a freebie. So 1 second. So now it's going to actually put it into a table for me. So that this way she actually has a checklist, and then I'm going to actually ask ChatGPT to create a mock-up schedule, like a calendar, so that I can copy and paste that into a new table here. So this is how I build out content really, really quickly. And if you guys are asking questions in this membership, this is exactly how I go ahead and I'm able to create more content for you guys and checklists. Like, for example, I'm working on this one right now. I need to edit it, but this was based on training I did. And I got, yeah, I'll teach you guys that another day, but back to here. So now I'm downloading this file, and I'm actually going to come over here, insert, 1 second, kids. Oh my goodness. Why is this so hard? There we go. I'm like, I think it's hard when you feel like you're being watched, even though I'm not. Do you know what I mean? So anyways, I'm gonna go to business plan. I'm gonna put this out here. Let's just see. This could go well, and this could maybe not go well. So this is actually really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna delete these. This is just how you make a checklist, bonus tips. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna make these. This is so good. So I'm just collapsing so that they're all in one together. I love doing checklists and check sheets, and it's really good if you want a really quick freebie that coincides with the content that you're already creating. I'm going to actually text wrap, and then I'm also going to align it in the middle. And then if I decide to do a little bit bigger, it will text. That's 12. Oops. Then I'm actually I can turn this into a little checklist sheet. And I can go, if you go to insert, checkbox, and then this, she just has to edit it to make it look the way that she would like. So it's like I could just really simply do that, create like a little pastel color if I really wanted to, right? Like you can just play around with this. Usually when I do this, then okay, anyhow, this is not the point of this. Anyhow, I just want to show really quickly how the heck you can get a really easy, yeah, there we go. As really quickly how you get an easy checklist out of this. Anywho, this is great. Create a mock calendar that I can plug into Google Sheets. And it should give me like a mock-up calendar with like, I'm gonna pause for a sec. I'm envisioning someone who needs to do one-to-one calls, create content, do social media, etc. I want a mock schedule. I cannot type on this, especially when I'm being recorded. I think it's just like, I get too nervous. I don't know. And then it'll show me, and then I can just plug it in here. I'm just going to create, just going to add a new sheet, and I'll put this one here as the calendar. I'm just going to name this one the checklist. Then I'll just name this one as the calendar. So I come back over here, it should give me this. And then, so anyways, I just wanted to have like some sort of freebie that coincides with the content that we're going to create, so that this way there is that, once again, that level of cohesion. And then it doesn't feel like you're taking years to make something like, so I'm downloading this. So I'm going to come over here, import. And I just want to show this because this is something that has helped a lot for my clients. Ooh, okay, here we go. This helps a lot with my clients feeling like they're actually able. Heck, no, that's not what I wanted. Nope. There we go. Oh my gosh. No. Okay, I'm not going to worry about this right now. Point being, this shows you, like, this is I'm not gonna get an award. I'm not gonna get crazy. But anyways, this gives you like, okay, that task you actually need to get done. I will show you the finished. Actually, let me pause the recording so I can get this all up and going. Okay, so this is the calendar. I'm just gonna delete this one. But this one is the calendar, like an example of how, like when like day 1 through 28, and the checklist. Like obviously Amber is the expert here, I'm just like supporting her, so this is going to be something that she has to revise. But like I said, at least she has a really high quality email sequence that goes, or pardon me, a really high quality freebie that goes with the content that we are creating. So now I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to say, great, I'm happy with this. And then I'm going to say, I would like you to create me, um, we're going to say 20 pieces of, no, we're going to say 10 pieces of content right now to make sure I actually like it, of content around aligning, your, ooh, I got it. Her and I talked about her signature framework. One second, I'll put it in here. My signature framework is, I cannot type on these, I swear, is knowing, aligning, implementing. I call it my KAI method. I would like you to create 10 pieces of content around my KAI method and the above theme around your phase of cycle and productivity. Make sure it's 200 words using the brand voice we talked about. All right, we'll see what it pops out. This is a really wonderful way, like I said, to get quality quantity. So immediately I'm going to say, I need more words. I would like 250 to 300 words per post. So immediately I caught that. So I can like, okay, let's shift gears. Because I want the post to actually be meaty and storytelling and actually supportive for the people coming in. So this is good. For example, during your menstrual phase, your energy dips, making the time to reflect and evaluate. Yep, like this is perfect. So this is a lot better. I like this tone. Just revising really quick. I love this tone. I would like the other 10 like this too. I'm also going to show you guys a hack. If you use something like Airtable after you get the copy the way that you want, I am going to show you guys a little hack. So let me actually pause the recording and get that up and going while this is generating. I just want to like condense your guys' time as much as possible too. If it will let me. One sec. Okay, ChatGPT and I had a little bit of, I told him some choice words. And so anyhow, now it's pumping out content the way that I want. So let me read you an example. Ovulation, your time to shine. So confidence, social energy, and communication skills are at their peak, making this an ideal time for networking, client meetings, or pitching big ideas. Your hormones are working in your favor, so tasks requiring visibility or connection should take center stage. This is a really wonderful. I know that the reason I want this so authoritative and educational is because that is the preference way for Amber to show up. And so now that I have this, I'm going to say, this looks great. Looks great. What are 4 positioning slash niche pillars for this content? It's going to tell me. Awareness, alignment, empowerment, leadership. I'm not sure how I like this. Make me a bullet point of the 4 sections this content would fall into, 1 to 2 words per section or per niece positioning. I'm going to show you guys how to create a table. This is going to be her Airtable where we're going to plug things in, and it's going to be so freaking good. So let's see. Great. Can you take the 10 posts you made and give me hook a table with this order? So I want the hook, then I want the copy, then which 4 pillar, which one of the 4 pillars it most is like. Now I'm going to have a table so I can actually take this and plug it over here. And I'm also going to have to show you guys how I revise the content. This is really good for now. I'll be honest, it is. It's good for now. Like there's certain things like this that I would take away, but because I already have her branding voice, this actually sounds like relatively human. Like for example, this is after I yelled at it. Great. There was one here. So like this one is talking about luteal phase. There's one specific one. I like this one. The follicular phase is where ideas blossom, energy rises, and creative flows effortlessly. It's the perfect time to brainstorm new projects, map out launches, and dive into tasks that require fresh perspectives. If you've been putting off planning content or strategizing campaigns, this is your sweet spot. And I would just space this, so I'd actually space this sentence down in its own, just the way that I structure my content, but it's not a big deal. So now that I have this as a table, I'm actually going to I'm going to take each one of these. And this is definitely a good starting point. And I'm going to continue doing the copy. I'm just actually going to pause this to shortcut things for you guys because I want to make sure that you, that your time is really respected. So I do need this as a CSV to be able to put into here. So I'm just going to browse my files, the KI method. Then I'm going to upload it. Hopefully it doesn't give me a hard time. We'll see. Give it a second. And this is just a really wonderful way to organize your content more, but we'll have to definitely go through it. It is easier to do this in a Google document, but we'll see how this looks. So I'm actually going to delete these fields because I do not need them. So, for example, rest isn't a luxury during your menstrual phase, it's a productivity tool. And then, so actually, if I expand this record, I'm going to have to go through and actually add this because it did not, that's fine. But at least the table is done. So what I'm actually going to go through is each one of these. Let me show you. See, this is the thing with ChatGPT. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt, but it can be a phenomenal tool. Give me a second. So now I have to go back and ask ChatGPT, no, the correct content. This is like a perfect example of like why I wanted to do a training because it's not perfect with ChatGPT. Maybe I should just show you. The information was correct. However, I need the above content that you created in the table. I need the long form copy. This is not sufficient. I am putting this in, and by the way, there's going to be spelling errors. I just don't care. I just want to show you guys how to do this. I'll put this in an Airtable and need the full length copy. Please try again and give me a table in CSV form. CSV form. Do not shortcut. Gonna try again. So I can actually, gonna clear it and I'm gonna let it do again. And this is the thing. I think this is actually a really beautiful example instead of me being like, oh my God, this isn't perfect. It's like, no, this is exactly the reason why I wanted to do this training because like, It's about what you ask. It's about how you position it. If you're not happy with something, you need to be like, no. Like, for example, the information was correct, but it wasn't what I loved, right? Like, it wasn't what I loved. So I'm just going to give it a second and showcase this to you. So I think I think it's really easy to get like frustrated with ChatGPT, but if you can learn how to work with it, like I've been on here for 30 minutes doing this, and I have this freebie entirely done. This is the bones of what I'm going to be using for Instagram story trainings. I can even create a couple blogs out of here for her, and I'm going to be able to create some email content around this, and around copy on how to get people into that freebie, so to speak. So I'm just waiting for this to analyze, but the next thing I'm going to ask it is great, thank you, because this is about the KI method. I actually should put this in here. Excuse me, I'll say like which offer it is, so that this is the niche, but I'm going to put like the offer. So the first 10 are going to be about the KAI. So it's like, this is her knowing, align, implement. And then the next one's going to be a handful around that freebie, so we can actually have content drawing them in. So let's see where ChatGPT is with here. So it's just analyzing. Okay, here we go. This should be a lot better. And yeah, I'm like, here's the thing is like ChatGPT can be kind of a pain in the butt this way, but also I didn't have to create it. Full copy. Okay, this one must be the next one. So let's see how this does. And if not, I'll just turn off my recording again and fix it. So we'll just see how this goes. Okay, perfect. I'm going to import it. And then once again, I'm going to, I don't know why it does this. I'm like, this is so much wasted space for nothing. Let's see how this looks again. See, this is much better. So I just had to tell it like, hey, can you please listen to me? And it has this. So now I'm just gonna go, no, I'm gonna put offer, but then I'm also single select, and then I'm gonna go KI method, and then I'm gonna say freebie, and then I'm also gonna do, yeah, I'm just gonna leave that for now. And so I'm just gonna switch all of these to K. I wonder if I can, no, it doesn't work like that, that's fine. I should have asked, but I was actually just thinking about this now so that she can have like different positioning, but then also the different offer. And of course, like we have to manually go through, but because I was like very specific and I'm like, I don't just take like done as good enough. I'm like, no, this needs to be good. So now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say, great, thanks. Now maybe it's the Canadian in me. I just always please and thank you. Can you create 15 incredible pieces of copy around the freebie we created? And I'm going to put in brackets, it's going to be like the schedule and checklist that you created. I want these posts to be educational, informative, and drive them to want the PDF. Please make sure that you are keeping my brand voice and supporting the fact that they can be free from their physical struggle of keeping up with business, utilizing their cycle. So now let's see what it pops up. I'm gonna pause it for a sec. Oh, here we go. I kind of like when it does the hook thing because I'm just like, hey, do you like this? So let's read this. Your cycle isn't a limitation, it's a strategy. Immediately love that. Feeling like your body is working against you while running your business. What if I told you your cycle is the key to productivity, not a roadblock? Ooh, I really love this. I love this. 1 week you're crushing it, brainstorming new ideas, thriving in meetings. The next, brain fog, fatigue, and struggling throughout the day. The problem isn't you, it's the way you're scheduling your life. Oh, Amber, as you're watching this, I hope you love me. So I really love this. So I'm going to say these are absolutely incredible. can you please add in approximately 50 words before the CTA of getting the cycle productivity freebie and after the initial hook sentences? I love the format and positioning. I just want a little extra meat. And I'm going to say in brackets, education, inspiration, and length. So I'm just going to hit send on that. And like I said, there's going to be spelling errors. Don't come at me. I'm just trying to show you how to do this. And obviously ChatGPT is still giving me what I want. So this is perfect. So let's go back to the first one. Feeling like your body isn't working, is working against you while running a business. What if I told you, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, this was in between. Your energy shifts through your cycle and each phase has its strengths. When you stop fighting these natural rhythms and unlock the new levels of ease and flow in your work. Imagine planning your creative tasks when your brain is firing with all these cylinders, or creating or scheduling admin work when you're naturally wanting to slow down. So this is absolutely amazing. So I'm already happy with this. Of course, I need to like manually go through each one, but what if you didn't have to force your way through low energy weeks, right? Like this is amazing. And it says, would you like to meet? Continue. Yes, this is fire. This is amazing. I'm going to say amazing. I'm also going to say, if you have 5 to 10 extra you would like to put in here, would like to add with the same format and length, that would be absolutely incredible. This is perfect. When I like, it's like positive reinforcement with a toddler or a dog. When I'm like, this is good, this is amazing. They're like, oh, yes, I'll make more, I'll make more, I'll make more. And then it turns like ChatGPT, it's almost like, oh my gosh, you love me. I'm like, yes, yes, I do. Thank you so much. So as this is pumping out, I'm actually going to go back up here. Remember when I asked it to create that table? So I'm going to ask it to create this table. And I'm going to say, great, can you take all these posts you made around the freebie and give me a table? I'm going to say CSV. In this order. So hook, copy, long copy, do not shortcut, which are the 1 to 4 pillars it's like, and then say, title this freebie. I'm just going to double check that that's what it's called. Freebie. I'm actually going to just make it a little bit more, like I can't make it done enough. One word in this column, freebie. So I'm just going to do a double check. So let me know if this gives you a perfect mix. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to say, great, can you take all these posts and turn it into a CSV? Now it's going to turn into a CSV and I can actually upload this and import this into here. So I created 10 around her KAI. So now the call to action here was a little bit more open-ended on purpose, because now she can actually book a one-to-one. She can use the KAI for, like, she can use these methods to sell a program, whatever this is. But I know her and I talked on a private call that we wanted to have this freebie section for her. So now we have 26 pieces of content. Yes, we're 38 minutes in. I had to fight with ChatGPT a little bit, but we have about 30, 36. I don't know. We'll see. 26. We'll see in a second. Pieces of content that are actually pretty good. Of course, we have to go through and just like ever so slightly reframe it. And then of course we have this freebie that goes with it, which is really nice, like the calendar and checklist, which is really great. So we're getting a lot with it. Seems like datas aren't the same length. Sure all the posts are fully included. Okay, so it's just trying again, which is fine. And then the next thing that I'm actually going to do for her is talk a little bit more about PMS symptoms. So I'm going to shift away from business. So half of this is like definitely more business related, and I'm going to shift to the PMS and physical symptoms. I'm just just give it a second. I'm going to pause the recording because I don't want you guys waiting longer than you have to. I want this to be as like concise as possible. All right, so I got it figured out. And you guys will get this transcript too, whereas like there was a little bit of an issue with this because it was saying that there was, I figured it out, there was one less copy, so I was like, I don't care, just do 15. I'm wasting, and the thing with AI is you have to be upfront. Oh, I see my video's not on. I am not a controversial person. I'm not confrontational. So it's hard for me to be like, this is what I need. But I said, I feel like I'm wasting time just trying to get this table. And it was like, okay, I'll just give it to you. And there was a couple missing data points. But the point being is I have 26 really good pieces of copy. I've paused this recording a handful of times. And this is a lot more streamlined for me when I'm doing it not recorded. But I just really want to make sure you guys have that step-by-step process. And also took a pee break and made myself a coffee. So we're making good time. Okay, now I'm gonna say great. Moving from this chapter because that actually was not fun. I've never had that many issues, but I was like, of course it would happen on a training video. But I'm grateful it did because if you guys have this problem arises, like you guys can like, what do you mean? Like there was one point where I said, like, why are you having such a hard time with this? Because you have to talk so straight up so it knows. Instead of being like, can we talk about the issue? You have to be straight up. And if you're someone who's not confrontational like me, you almost feel like you're being rude, but you have to, it's a freaking robot. So you have to be like, why are you having a hard time issue with this? Do the same. And I just implement anyways. You guys can see like the conversation I have. So we have 26 actually pretty good pieces of copy. So it's we'll just have to delete this one, but it's still really, really good. This is really good. So anyways, I'm just gonna take a step back. What I'm gonna ask is, so I said, great, moving from this chapter. I want you to create 10 incredibly powerful hooks. I'm also going to show you guys a little hack, but anyways, I want to get 10 incredibly powerful hooks about PMS, symptoms, how to take action healing your hormone issues, aka why women are struggling with PMS, and keep my brand voice. And you are welcome to use previous copy as inspiration, but I want these to feel new. So let's see what they come up with. Ooh, PMS isn't just a part of being a woman, it's a sign your hormones are screaming for help. What if I told you PMS is optional? The symptom you're ignoring today could be the problems you can't ignore tomorrow. And so I'm going to say these are great. They definitely caught my attention. I would like about 200 words for each 10 posts. I would like the format to be hook, copy, the pillar, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. This way it's really easy to plug into here. I'm not really sure what I want this to be because it's basically, it's not connected to anything. So there really isn't an offer, which is kind of nice actually to have open-ended stuff because it's like not everything actually, I'm just gonna say open-ended. Not everything needs to have an offer and attached to it. And I know people are like, oh my gosh, but I'm like, yeah, no, like it literally isn't that big of a deal. Okay, I'm just gonna see what it did. Yeah, so I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal because then you can kind of mix and match. If you're in a launch, you're like, oh, that looks really good. You can just like transfer it over. So anyways, it has, as you can see, it has a pillar, and I'm gonna say thank you so much. Yes, all of them in this format. And I'll read one out while it's doing this. For example, are you tired of feeling like hormones are in control of your life? So the copy says, hormones are powerful. They influence your energy, mood, and even your productivity. But what happens when they're out of balance? Suddenly, they control you instead of the other way around. If PMS symptoms are throwing you off focus, ruining your sleep, or making you feel like a stranger in your own body, it's time to take back the reins. Balancing our hormones isn't about perfection. It's about creating a foundation where your body feels supported and safe. from stress management to better sleep hygiene. I don't know how I like sleep hygiene, but like sleep schedule. Every choice you make plays a role in reclaiming your hormonal health. The power isn't fighting your body; it's in working with it. You're not meant to just survive; you're meant to thrive, right? So now I'm gonna say, this is awesome. Can you create a table? I'm gonna say CSV using the hook long form copy pillar. And then it will pop it all in. Oh, see, this is so good. And like this is pretty, like obviously I have to manually go through, but I'm very happy just like as I'm skimming through, I'm like, this is very good. Um, and like I'm doing bulk and then I like review it. If this takes another hot second, I will 100% pause this because like I said, I want this to feel seamless for you guys. And I don't want you guys just sitting here watching boringly or anything, but I want you guys understanding the process and seeing how this works. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pause it until it is ready. It usually takes a couple minutes, but then I get to drink my coffee, review everything. I'll like audit it. So I'll be back. All right, so I have these all implemented here. There's 35, so we need another 15. And actually, I have a resource that I think would actually be really supportive. Actually, I'm going to type it in here. Based on your knowledge, and by the way, this, of course, this is the first time I've had this many issues trying to put something into a table, which is, I'm like, if this is going to happen on a training, of course it would happen on a training. So based on your knowledge and um, updated 2024 studies, what are some ways we can heal our hormones and women's health issues like PMS? I want bullet point form. So I'm gonna possibly create another freebie for Amber here. We'll just see how that works. Love that. Amazing. Can you create 10 high quality pieces of content with, ooh, I actually have an idea for the table. Amazing. Can you create pieces of content? Yeah, okay, I like this. Can you create 10 pieces of content using my previous brand voice and about 200 words, like all the previous posts? We'll see how this works. I like this. Your hormones are powerful messengers. Are you listening? They don't just, hormones don't whisper, they shout. I think this is so Amber, and there's a lot of content here for her to work with. I'm actually going to turn off the recording, finish this up, and I'm going to teach you how to do stories and maybe I'll actually do a secondary. I think what I'm going to do is this is going to be recording 1 and I'm going to have recording 2. So thank you. I'm so grateful for you guys.